If you have been looking for some simple dinner ideas to make your summer meal plan just a little bit easier, I've got you covered. Today, I actually want to share some of the things that we have been doing in our own home to make mealtime a breeze so that it's one less thing to worry about and you have more time to actually enjoy your summer. Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renae Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast. We are already coming into the end of July, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this episode because it almost feels like summer is already over. It goes by so fast, especially we live in Minnesota, so it especially goes by crazy fast here. And I'm in like the northern part of Minnesota by Lake Superior, so we tend to have even cooler weather here. So when we have summer, you kind of savor it. And that means making other things as simple as possible so that you can actually enjoy the time because before you know it, we have snow again. And one of the things that we do is to make our meal planning routine extremely simple. And I feel like it's simple year round, but the nice thing about summer meals is that it seems a lot fresher because so much produce is more in season. So it actually makes dinners a lot easier. It just takes a little bit of planning or a little bit of a method when you're doing this. And if you have no dinner routine or meal planning routine right now, this is going to help you a ton because it can be very, very simple. So I am just going to bring you a lot of different ideas in this episode. It might be a little bit hard to recap them at the end. So if you need to recap or if you need to listen to this and then come back and grab a pen and paper and just kind of jot down ideas as we're going through this, that might be the easiest way. Just a little heads up because I typically try to recap it at the end. But because this one is just kind of spewing out ideas, it might be a little bit hard for me to recap them at the end. But the main thing that we like to do is actually to have this method of building a meal. And in the summer, especially, I mean, you can do this year round, but especially in the summer when the grill is available, we can build meals very, very easily. And even if you have really picky eaters in your family, this will work as well because it can be customized without you feeling like you're making multiple different meals for people. You can make one meal, but it can be customized and tailored to what each individual wants on their plate. So that is very helpful as well. So the number one thing that you want to do is before you're even looking at meal planning, you want to make sure that you are stocked. And I do have previous episodes for this process of actually planning out your meals and how to do an inventory and all of that. And I will recap some of those episodes at the end so that you can go back and look at those. But when you are kind of stocking your pantry and your fridge and your freezer and all those things, you want to make sure you have some basics. And those basics are going to be protein. And you can do this multiple different ways. You can do chicken, fish, ground beef. We are hunters, so we have a lot of ground venison in place of ground beef, steaks or plant-based proteins. And then second, you want to load up on veggies. And this is like your produce section. Now, before I go beyond to veggies, I'm talking about stocking protein, this doesn't have to be like just in your refrigerator. These can be additional types where you're stocking some of this stuff in your freezer. And a little side note, uh, I don't want to I don't want to get too off on a rampage here, but if you have a lot of freezer meat stocked up or protein stocked up in your freezer, then it's a really, really good habit to make sure that when you are making dinner or you're kind of looking at the day ahead, that you also look at what meats you need to pull out for the next day or two to thaw in your fridge. And when you're doing this, I actually purchased, I have a tendency to kind of look at some of the kitchen containers and stuff. I really like organizing, and I've got like, if I see a bin I like, I want to get it. And they had this like long, skinny refrigerator drawer basically, but I can't even think of what it would be called. It's probably similar to the size of those like containers for like pop cans or soda cans in the fridge. So it's just this like long tray. It just doesn't have the little swoop at the end of it like those do, but that's kind of the size of it if you can imagine that. And we just have it labeled meat. And that stays in our fridge at all times, whether it is full or completely empty. So when we are looking at a couple of days ahead, we are just pulling whatever we need out of the freezer, we put it right into that bin, and then when we use the meat, we just wash it, and when we're putting dishes away, it just goes straight back into the fridge, because then it also reminds us when we see that empty bin in the fridge, we know we probably need to pull something out of the freezer for the next day. And that has been super, super helpful. So if you don't have a routine of doing that yet, that is a really great way of doing it so that you're not coming up to dinner and all of a sudden realizing that all of your meat is still frozen and you have to have dinner on the table in 30 minutes. So that is just a little quick tip. But once you stock your protein, then you want to make sure that you are stocking vegetables. This is like your bell peppers, your mixed greens and lettuce, your carrots, your celery, your broccoli, your cauliflower. All of these different types of produce are going to be in this next step. And when you do the grocery shopping, the biggest tip that I have here is get home, clean your veggies, and prep them. They don't even necessarily have to be all completely diced up, but clean them. Like your bell peppers should be cleaned and take them off of the stems, remove the seeds, and have those big chunks of peppers in your fridge already cleaned. So when you are ready to do a meal, all you have to do is dice it up and you don't have to go through the process of cleaning things. It sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but it is amazing how much easier this makes dinner. Like making dinner, especially in the summer when you are like just wanting to get dinner on the table quickly. So prep what you can, just taking even, 20 minutes or even an hour if you need to prep a lot. Even just taking that little bit of time when you get home from the grocery store to prep and clean all of those veggies. And if you store them properly, they will actually last longer as well. And having those all prepped, taking the time to do that will save so much time for the rest of the week that it is totally worth the prep time to be able to do that. And once you get stocked up on veggies, then you are also going to look at like your sauces and your condiments, things like that, that bring a lot of like that flavor or like the base into dishes. So it could be, your chicken broth or your chicken stock, your vegetable stock, your bone broth. It could be your tomato pasta sauces, Alfredo sauce, teriyaki stir fry sauce, like chipotle mayo dressings, anything like that. You want to have those kind of on hand as well. And if things that your family really likes, or if you don't buy them pre-made from the store, you want to make sure you have some of those ingredients on hand to mix and make up these sauces really quickly to help add that extra flavor boost into your meals. Then the fourth thing you want to do is you want to have some carb options. So some carbohydrates. And this is really great if you can add fiber filled carbohydrates. But basically, your carbs are like your rice, your potatoes, your sweet potatoes, any pastas that you might like, even if it's like a chickpea pasta, even fruit is considered a fiber filled carbohydrate. So, like whole fruits. So, that is what your fourth category is that you want to make or you want to have on hand. So, when you need any quick meal, whether you're planning it ahead of time or all of a sudden you know that if you're not taking the time to plan, this is also an easy way to do this, because when you have these four categories stocked with some options that your family likes, you can throw together an extremely quick meal by grabbing a protein, grabbing a vegetable or a few vegetables, and grabbing a carb and putting those together. And then if you have some type of sauce or condiment to bring in the flavor and kind of give it a little boost or give it some differentiation from maybe a meal you had the other day, then you have a full meal that is super easy that you have on hand. So, for instance, like you could take similar ingredients. You could take like your uh, chicken and do some roasted broccoli and cauliflower and then mash up your potatoes. Or you could take your chicken and you could stir fry some bell peppers and onions, and you could make some rice and throw that together with a little of the teriyaki sauce, and you've got a new stir fry. Or you could do the chicken and the rice and add in some eggs, and then add in some of your veggies like your peas and carrots and things like that. And stir fry it all together with some soy sauce or some sesame seed oil. And then you've got more of a like chicken and fried rice option. So there's a lot of different things that you can make with similar ingredients. And when you have these bases on hand in each of these categories, you can start to put meals together very, very quickly. Especially the more you do this, you get really familiar with what your family likes, what is easiest, what you enjoy cooking, and it makes it so much easier. So a few ideas that you could throw together with this protein plus veggie plus carb option is, like I said, like do the chicken and some roasted veggies and some mashed potatoes or even some like baked potatoes. You could do burger patties with a side salad and some oven fries. You could do grilled fish on like a tortilla or like an almond flour tortilla with some mango salsa and grilled asparagus. Like there's so many different options. So if you're looking for a really quick meal, just remember to do protein plus veggie plus carb and make it in categories of things that your family likes. So if your family despises asparagus, then I wouldn't recommend having asparagus as the vegetable. But if you know that your family really loves a good coleslaw, then you've got some cabbage on hand. Or if you know your family really loves steamed broccoli, then you've got broccoli on hand to steam quickly. There's a lot of different things that you can do to bring in that extra veggie with a carb and a protein. So, some of the other tips that I have for you to just make meal planning a lot easier is number one, especially in the summer, to use your grill if you have one. Not only does it like, it's just easy and the flavor is amazing, but it also helps to keep your kitchen nice and cool because you're not turning on the stove and the oven. We have a process where we a lot of times will come home from the gym and make dinner together. So, more often than not, my husband and I actually are making dinner together. So, a lot of times he just knows that he is probably going to be doing the meat, which will be on the grill. And so when we get from home from the gym, he goes straight to that fridge and pulls out that meat bin that we have in there, and he starts prepping the meat because he knows what we're having because it's already on the menu. And I will start doing all of the vegetables and pulling it out, and it makes it so easy because the meat is already thawed, the vegetables are already prepped. We just need to pull it together with whatever carb we're having, and it just makes dinner time so easy. And if you have got kids, then they can help you do this as well. And it can be a family event. It does not have to be stressful. It can be quick. They can explore different options on what they like, and they might actually find a joy in cooking if it's not already a joy. And you can try different flavor combinations, see what you like, see what you don't like. And rather than having dinner time be very stressful, it can actually be a family activity together that can make a lot of really great memories. So that is an option, is to use your grill if you have one. Or if you are worried about a hot kitchen, then also use like a slow cooker if you don't have a grill, or even if you do have a grill, utilize your slow cooker, utilize your instant pot. That's one thing that we have not done yet, is we have not gotten an instant pot, but it is on our list to look at because I think that we could really benefit from it. We just have not done it yet. So that is another option if you have one of those to make things super easy to throw together. Another option is bowls. And I love making bowls because it's easy and Tony loves bowl meals. But basically, what you're doing is you're doing some sort of base, and it's typically a carb, but it can be, a bed of lettuce or mixed greens. But your base is typically a carb, and you could do like rice, or you could do cauliflower rice if you want more of the vegetables instead of such carb heavy. But you could do rice, cauliflower rice, beans, quinoa, whatever you want as the base. And then you've got your vegetables. You've got your lettuce or your mixed greens, your onions, tomatoes. You could do a pico de gallo salsa, some corn, some sauteed peppers and onions, all those things. These are basically like a burrito bowl, is what you're making. And then you've got your protein. You could do a grilled chicken, you could do steak, you could do pulled chicken, or maybe like a barbacoa beef roast that is pulled. And you could do any sort of meat like that. And then you've got your protein, your carb, and your pile of veggies. And then you can top it with whatever toppings you want, whether that is, sour cream or a plain whole fat Greek yogurt. We really like using a whole fat Greek yogurt in place of sour cream for a lot of these things. So it's just a little bit healthier version. Um, and you could add cheese if you want to. You could add some hot sauce if you want to. But what's really cool about these bowl meals is that you can have all of these ingredients made up and your family can build their bowl how they want to eat it. So we make this meal and Tony and I sit down next to each other and our bowl actually looks completely different from the other person's because we enjoy different things even though we're eating the exact same meal. We enjoy different parts of the meal better than maybe something else. So even though we're having the same meal, our bowls look very different when we're sitting down at the table. And that might be the case for your family as well. So having these where it's almost like a little buffet option where you can build your own bowl is really helpful. And then it makes it really easy if you have leftovers to just have them in these, like you could throw them into glass containers with each of these different ingredients, throw them into your fridge. And then when you're building meals later, you're having leftovers or you're building like a lunch for somebody, you can just pop all of these ingredients, build it the way that you want, and pop it in your lunchbox, or just have it for lunch the next day, or for a mid afternoon snack if you're hungry, I guess. But it just makes it really easy to customize it without having to make multiple meals, and those are just always super yummy. Another option is like a salad bar. So it's a very similar concept to the bowls where you have these different ingredients, you pull them out, and everybody builds their own. So it's just like a buffet style. So you could do like a mixed greens or lettuce base. And then you put out all of the prepped veggies and some extra salad toppings. So maybe you've got veggies like some carrot shreds, you've got your bell peppers, you've got some diced onions, you've got broccoli and cauliflower already chopped up. You've got all of these different things. You've got tomatoes. You've got all those different toppings already prepped. So you just pull them all out with a bed of the greens and the lettuce. And then you've got extra salad toppings like maybe like feta cheese or a cheddar cheese, like a shredded cheese. And then you've got your, sunflower seeds or maybe cashews or croutons or those like little tortilla salad strips. Any salad toppings you really like, you could do this. Or if you're doing a spinach base, then you could pull out, your strawberries or your pecans, or and you can even do candied pecans and have those in the freezer for like a sweet snack, at some point. And then you can just pull them out when it comes time to building this salad. And you could do like a really yummy raspberry vinaigrette and put it on, and you could just build your own salad how you prefer it. Another thing that you want to kind of pay attention to make things really easy is to make dishes that are multi purpose. So things that you can use for multiple meals. Now, when I prep do our like meal prep for the week, I'm not typically actually making recipes. Unless it's like a sauce, then I could do that. But typically when I'm prepping, I'm only prepping the vegetables and I'm just cleaning those and getting those ready so that I don't have to worry about cleaning vegetables later on in the week. It just saves time. It makes things a lot easier. And I'm fine with that. It works really well for us. But if you want to prep a lot more, you can definitely do that. Like maybe every Sunday and Wednesday, you know that you want to throw a ton of chicken on the grill and get it all cooked up because then that's going to last you for several weeks. Or you can do some sauces that can do on multiple meals. So let's say you have like a chipotle mayo that you can put on burgers. You could use it for a dip for sweet potato fries. You can, put it on like a fish sandwich, whatever you're doing. You want to make something that can be used for multiple meals. Another one is like coleslaw. We make a coleslaw. My husband loves coleslaw. I like it. I'm just not a huge raving fan of coleslaw, but I do enjoy it and I know he loves it. So we have it um, fairly often because he loves it so much. And so we have coleslaw and we'll make it multiple different ways. So we usually will have it as like a side and it will be on the side of, maybe like chicken and some oven fries. And then we've got coleslaw, but then we could do like a pulled pork sandwich and top that with coleslaw. We could do a grilled fish taco and do like an almond flour tortilla that is seared and grilled on both sides. And then you put coleslaw on that. And then you put your like blackened grilled fish or blackened seared fish on that. And, you can do multiple different things with one simple thing like coleslaw. So when you're getting creative and just using one type of food in multiple different ways, your your meals become so much easier because then you can kind of think ahead on what could I make that I could make extra of that will last me multiple meals or could be used in multiple ways just to make meal planning a lot easier. And it might not be perfect right away, but the more you do this, the easier it becomes and the more that you will automatically start thinking this way and it just becomes a whole lot simpler. So another thing that you could do is like a cowboy caviar. This is, a base of diced tomatoes and diced bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, onions, and then you add in like black beans and corn and cilantro, lime juice, salt, and you get it tasting really, really yummy. It's like a really fresh salsa. And you can do this just as a dip, and you could have tortilla chips and just scoop it up. We go through this like crazy. My husband's mom makes this all the time and we absolutely love it. And it is very multi-purpose because you can have it as a quick snack. You can top it on those fish tacos with the coleslaw. You can put it on regular tacos. You can put it on like a baked chicken and just top that with this like fresh salsa. It's so yummy. But that is a really good way of doing it as well. You can also put it on those burrito bowls as another fresh veggie based topping that has a lot of flavor and it's so good. So another thing is like a tuna salad or a chicken salad, something like that, because again, you can scoop them up with a tortilla or maybe some sort of bread that you like. You can put it on a sandwich. You put it on a croissant, whatever you want to do there. But having those like chicken or tuna salads, they keep in the fridge for a few days, and it just makes a really quick go-to meal or snack idea where if you just make a little extra, you have that on hand, and it just makes things a lot easier. So hopefully that wasn't too exhausting and you got some good ideas from there. If you have no idea where to start for your meal planning routine, I do have kind of a very simple template in my workbook at yourorganizedlifeblueprint.com. Yourorganizedlifeblueprint.com. You can either download the PDF and get it right away and have it either just on your phone or your computer, or you can even print it out Or you can get it off of the Amazon link and they will actually ship you the workbook itself. So you have a physical book, but that workbook has a really great option to be able to actually get some meal ideas down and to learn a little bit of what you're doing to create your meal planning list and your meal planning routine to create your list, know what you're prepping and all of that to just make it super, super simple. So that's a great way to start if you don't have a meal planning process yet. But if you want to go back and listen to some episodes, I also have some episodes which are totally free that will help you get started in your meal planning routine. And then you can take some of these ideas and put them into your routine. So one of those is episode 4, and it's 12 steps for an easy meal planning routine to save time and money. Episode 19 is where we actually will create a weekly meal plan together. And episode 36 is my meal planning method to build quick and healthy weekly menus for your family. And in episode 47, you can take my step by step meal planning routine and then just customize it and tweak it to make it your own. So, hopefully those were really helpful for you. I hope that dinner time just becomes easy and much simpler so that you never have to stress or get overwhelmed when somebody asks you what is for dinner because it's already planned out. You already know most of the work is already done, and it becomes a really good routine and an activity that you can actually make memories with and not have it stress you out because we want to soak up all of the hours that we can for summer and any time of the year really, but summer goes by so stinking fast that we want to make things a little bit easier wherever we can, and I hope this was helpful for you. I will see you on the next episode. Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.